In this video, I would like to read the beatitudes in Greek, Hebrew, Latin, and English with grammar, and also with commentary. So we begin as we read it. It reads: Makarioi hoi patohoi to numati, hate auton esten he basileia ton uranon. Happy or blessed are the poor in spirit, because belonging to them is the kingdom of heaven, or of the heavens. Notice here, Makarioi, blessed ones are the poor in spirit, because belonging to them is the rule of the heavens. Estin here is the present indicative active, third person singular from a me. And notice poor in spirit means to be humble and having a need for God's spiritual blessing. The Hebrew reads, let me just read the Hebrew. And by the way, I'm doing the reading from Delitzsch, and it is a translation of the Hebrew, of the Greek, I should say, by Delitzsch. Ashrei aniyei ruach ki lahem malchut hashemayim. Happy or blessed are the pure, or are the poor, I should say, of spirit, for to them is the malchut hashemayim. For belonging to them is the rule of the heavens, or the kingdom of the heavens. My mind goes back to Ashrei ha'ish asher lo halak, Psalm 1, and it can mean happy here, which is the translation. And by the way, Delitzsch is in the public domain, and he did a great translation of the Greek into the Hebrew. So the Latin reads, Beati pauperis spiritu quianiam ipsorum est regnum caelorum. That is, blessed are the pure in spirit, because of them is the reign of the heavens, or the rule of the heavens. So then we move on to the next beatitude. We need to be humble in spirit in order to possess the kingdom of heaven. He's saying that if you're arrogant and prideful, it won't work. One needs to have a need and be humble in one's spirit. And I think he's talking about followers, disciples of Christ, what their lives should look like, having come to know the Lord as their Savior. So then we move on to the next phrase, and that is in verse 4. Makarioi hoi penthuntes hate autoi paratlethesantai. Happy or blessed are the ones who are mourning, because they shall be comforted. Penthuntes is from pentheo. It is the present participle, nominative masculine plural from pentheo. So blessed are the ones who are mourning, because they shall be comforted. Paratlethesantai is the future indicative passive, third person plural from parakaleo. The Latin reads about Beati qui lugent quaniam ipse consolabuntur. That is, blessed are they that mourn, because they shall be comforted. Another future passive form here in the Latin. And then we look at the Hebrew of that verse. And of course, all along we're translating into English. So it is including English, although without doing grammar in English. The Hebrew reads Ashrei ha'avelim ki hem yenuchamu. Blessed are they that mourn, because they shall be comforted. Yenucham is from Nacham. It's a pual, imperfect, third person plural, masculine plural, from Nacham, to comfort. The Shavah kibbutz puts it in the pual stem. So the point is, they that mourn for whatever reason, but especially probably for their own sins or wanting to see uh, even things that they go through where they mourn, there is the comfort that is promised by the Lord. And then we go to the next verse. Makario ehoi praes, hate autoi kleron mesusin tain gain. Happy are the gentle, for they shall inherit the earth. Praes is like a gentle horse, or being gentle, not a runaway wild type of horse, but blessed are the gentle, for they shall inherit the earth. Kleron mesusin is your future indicative active third person plural from kleron meo, to inherit the earth. And I'm thinking he's probably looking at that future eternal inheritance of a new heaven and new earth. The characteristic of a disciple should be gentleness, not the opposite of a machoistic kind of an attitude, I believe. The Latin then reads, Beati mites quoniam ipsi passidebunt terrum. Blessed are the gentle, because they shall possess the earth. Another future indicative third person plural, future indicative active third person plural, from the root to possess. And then we move to the Hebrew of that verse, and notice Ashrei ha'anavim ki hema yirshu ha'aretz. Blessed are the gentle, because they will inherit the earth. Yirshu is from yarash, to inherit. It's a cow imperfect, third masculine singular from yarash. So happy are the gentle, the anavim, for they will inherit the earth. By the way, Yershu historically was a pay yod verb. Here's an example of a pay yod verb that keeps the yod. Some, like vayetain, not yetain, but some verbs basically were pay vav verbs. And the vav is brought to compensatory lengthening in the preceding um, consonant, whereas here the yod of the imperfect and the yod of the stem changes to a hitic yod. So the yod continues. It's not taken out, or it's not, can I say, uh, disappearing, like in the uh, pei vav kind of root. So then we continue in the next verse, and that is the pure of the merciful. Those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. Makario hoi penontes kai dipsontes ten decai asunen hate autoi cortas santai. That is, happy are the ones who hunger and who are thirsting for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Notice again, penuntes is from penao. It is the participle, present participle, nominative masculine plural from that root, and dipsontes from dipsao, present active participle, nominative masculine plural. So those who are hungering and thirsting for dikaiosune. Dikaiosune is wanting to do what the Lord has called us to do, a righteous life. For they shall be kortaste santai, they shall be filled. From kortazo, future indicative passive, third person plural. From kortazo, they shall be filled. And if we look at the Hebrew here of that particular verse, it reads, let me just find it here, Ashrei ha're'evim v'ha'semeim nitztaka ki hem yispa'u. That is, happy are the ones who are hungering, those who are hungering and thirsting, the hungering and thirsty ones, for tzedakah, righteousness, for they, yisba'u, for they shall be satisfied. It's interesting here. Sabah is the root, cow imperfect, third common or masculine plural from sabah. And then the Latin simply reads in that same verse, beati qui essuriunt kai sitiunt justitiam quiniam ipsi santurabuntur. Blessed are they that hunger and thirst for justitiam, because they shall be satisfied, or they shall be filled. Again, a future indicative passive here in the Latin as well. Now, I think I'm going to stop there because I don't want to go on and on. I think I'll pick this up again in the next video, beginning at verse 7, where we'll continue reading the Greek, reading the Hebrew, reading the Latin. In the end, the beautiful words of the Beatitude, I believe, is that it is calling believers to follow Christ. And this is the attitude and life that his followers are to display. I don't think, can I say it should be the fruit of faith? I've often said, formerly to students, if there's fire in the fireplace, there should be smoke coming out of the chimney. And I would see Jesus here talking to disciples about what their lives should look like.